speaker for today is Dr. Pankaj Ghundial, sir. He is a practicing radiologist in Amravati. He's practicing last more than 20 years. He's the director of Ghundial Radio Diagnostic Center. Dr. Ghundial is a national faculty for MSB IRIA and IRIA conferences. He is a past vice president of Vidarbha Radiology Association and past joint secretary of IMA, past president of Lions Club also. We are all well aware of his passion for fitness as well as sports. So over to you, Dr. Pankaj, sir. The topic for Dr. Pankaj, sir, today is imaging of tumor mimics in brain.
I kindly request Pankaj sir to please unmute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Is it seen?
Right,
Hello.
sir. Yes, sir. We can see the slide, sir.
Okay. Good evening, dear friends. Today I am speaking on imaging of tumor mimics in brain. Case number 1, 20-year-old lady presented with sudden onset of diplopia with gas palsy since 15 days with history of mild ataxia. In this, we are seeing abnormal signal in the pons. Entire pons is involved. There is no expansion of the pons and there is no enhancement. So no significant expansion, almost entire pons involved, no enhancement. This is a classical pontine demyelination. Follow-up scan after the treatment shows significant reduction of the hyperintense signal seen in the pons. Comparison case, in this similar normal signal is seen in the pons, but it is eccentric in position and there is an expansion of the cord, and on contrast, there is some enhancement seen. So expansion of pons, eccentric in position and enhancement goes more in favor of pontine glioma. Case number 2, 16-year-old girl, acute onset of excessive sleepiness, non-signaling hyperintense signals are seen just adjacent to the third ventricle in the region of hypothalamus. On coronal, it is very nicely seen again. The lesions are seen in the hypothalamus. Post contrast shows poor enhancement. So treated with IV methylprednisolone for 3 days followed by oral steroid, there is significant improvement in all the symptoms. So this was a classical hypothalamic demyelination. Now number 3, low-grade fever, URTI since 5 days with history of convulsions. Abnormal signals seen in the both cerebral hemispheres, which are hyperintense on T2, hypointense on T1, and on contrast study, open ring-like enhancement, and the incomplete portion of the ring is seen on the gray matter side of the lesion. There was no mass effect, no surrounding vasogenic edema, and on diffusion weighted images, there was mildly increased ADC. So the MR spectroscopy, there was elevation of choline and elevation of lactate. So this was classical tumefactive demyelination. Case number 4, 17-year-old boy presented with altered sensorium and convulsions. Abnormal signals seen in the bifrontal region. Hyperintense on T2, hypointense on T1, and on combination of contrast, there is an intense enhancement seen along the falls. So this was classical history of beta cell lymphoma, induction therapy, and history of convulsions. MRI shows an isointense signal on T1 and flare, and patchy or punctate hyperintensity on T2. Post-contrast, MRI shows irregular ring-like enhancement. On diffusion-weighted images and ADC, the wall as well as the nodular soft tissue display diffusion restriction, while the content don't show the restriction. And single voxel MR spectroscopy over enhancing area demonstrates diminished diminished N-acetyl aspartate to creatinine ratio, normal choline to NNA ratio, and normal choline to creatinine ratio. So this was classical fungal abscess. Patient had developed febrile neutropenia, neutrophil count 0. Similar lesions were in lungs, chest, liver, and spleen. Succumbed to it. Postmortem confirmed the findings. 20-year-old boy studying in third year of college presented with left-sided hemiparesis, lower limb more than upper limb. Abnormal signal is seen in the right frontal region with extensive surrounding vasogenic edema, and on administration of the contrast, there was a thick-walled ring-like enhancement. This was reported as lymphoma oblique tuberculoma outside, and post-op shows again a lesion which was thick-walled, but we were seeing internal isointense lesion. So this was classical aspergilloma. Aspergillus abscess appears radiologically identical to the other brain abscesses as classical re-enhancing lesion with striking high signal intensity on diffusion weighted images. Aspergillus abscess may have peripheral low signal intensity on T2. This is very well appreciated on GRE or SWI images. 50-year-old man presented with fever since 5 days and left hemiparesis. Abnormal lesion is seen in the right parietal region, and mild hyperintense rim was on T1, dark T2 rim due to free radicals, and there was diffusion restriction, and on contrast peripheral enhancement was seen, and lactate peak was seen on MR spectroscopy. So this was classical pyogenic abscess. 40-year-old man presented with altered sensorium and right hemiplegia. Abnormal signals seen in the both the cerebral hemisphere. Multiple lesions were there with surrounding vasogenic edema. Largest was in the left basal ganglia. And on MR spectroscopy, there was a reduced NA and mildly increased choline and lactate peak. So this was classical toxoplasmosis. Patient was HIV positive. Then case number 9, 59-year-old man or male on the operated case of GBM, received radiotherapy, present with multiple episodes of seizures and 6 nerve palsy. Abnormal signals seen in the left occipital region, hyperintense on T2, hypo on T1. This was an expansile lesion in the white matter extending up to the cortex with classical Swiss cheese pattern of the interior arcuate fiber. Perfusion shows low cerebral blood volume. So this was classical radiation necrosis. 45-year-old male patient came with sudden onset right lower limb weakness. Abnormal signals seen in the left frontal region on CT scan. On FLAIR also abnormal signal was seen on this left frontal region, and angiography was normal. DSA was also normal. Then we have done MR GRE sequence. A GRE sequence is a very, very important sequence in which we are seeing a hemorrhage, and there is a blooming seen in this region. So blooming on T1, pre and post contrast, there was a punctate-like contrast enhancement was seen, and some enhancement was seen. So this was classical cavernous angio. These are a collection of sinusoidal vascular spaces, clotted, unclotted blood in various stages of oxidation. On MR, typical cavernomas looks like raspberry or popcorn-like appearance, and gradient echo sequence shows this lesion better than T1 and T2. These are the multiple sites of the cavernomas. Then 35-year-old lady presented with headache, occasional tingling in all the limbs, vertigo on and off, abnormal signals seen in the pons. On SWI and GRE, the lesion was very nicely. So this was a capillary telangiectasis in brain. These lesions are most often solitary, but sometimes it may be multiple. Common location, pons, cerebellum, or spinal cord. T2 and FLAIR shows normal or slightly increased signal, and T2 shows ISO or low signal. but T1 contrast MRI shows stippled enhancement if large, can show branching and linear draining veins. Then this is a case which presented with holocranial headache on and off since 3 years, 3 episodes of TIA in last 1 year, weakness of left upper and lower limb with slurring of speech. On examination, conscious, oriented, no focal neurological deficit. Abnormal signal seen in the left temporal region. On CT scan, abnormal lesion seen. On administration of the contrast, there was a ring-like enhancement was seen, but intensely enhancing lesion was seen inside that ring. So we suddenly decided that this is some thrombosed aneurysm. In same sitting, we have done a CT angiography. In this, very nicely it is seen the lesion is along the middle cerebral artery. So this was classical partly thrombosed right MCA aneurysm. It was confirmed on DSA. Then last case, 25-year-old transplant recipient on triple immunosuppression presented with left hemiparesis and diplopia. Abnormal signal is in the chest, and there was some enhancement was also seen, and diffusion restriction was also there. And on plain MRI study, a hyperintense sinuses were seen. So this MR was a dural sinus thrombosis. This was a classical venous infarct. Thank you.